Hey, Ciph. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good night.
And before we get into this awesome Juan Epstein, let's give a shout out to our friends.
Okay. Which ones?
Squarespace.
Oh, our real friends.
Yeah, our real friends.
Squarespace.
Our friends at Squarespace who make Juan Epstein possible and also make your dreams of having a perfect website possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you simply go to squarespace.com, use the code OneEp, and you can build a beautiful, easy, you can have a website, you can do a blog. Have you seen the version Ant has done so far?
It looks amazing.
The mock-up's made, right?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
So you'll see. The site's done. We have another issue which is transferring tons of huge files of the podcast, but the building the
That's
website,
what she said.
Thank you, Ciph. But the podcast, the building the website part, Ant did in like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
He literally.
No, if you want to get a nice website that looks beautiful and works easy, Squarespace is your crew. But then when you then take two difficult people like us and have to add stuff to it, that's where you get.
You could run into problems.
But Squarespace itself, easy.
Squarespace.com. Use the code OneEp. Squarespace. Build it beautiful. Speaking of beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Faith Newman is here.
Faith Newman.
Hello.
Oh, God, can I get my Faith Evans jokes out of the way right now?
Or Faith Hill.
But that's unreasonable. I thought it would have
Yeah.
been funnier if I walked in and sat down and been like, this is not the chick who used to love me. So when you signed with Diddy,
Yeah.
when you were married to Biggie, let me keep going.
Which
The
is
whole
'cause her name is
Tupac
Faith?
thing, you don't want to bring that up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is gonna get awkward. Fox. Yeah, Faith had
Ooh.
twins. So first of all, how are you?
I'm doing okay for a rainy, cold day.
Do your ears ever ring when your name gets mentioned all the time? But not
Yeah,
just
that's what
us?
Ciph was saying.
Yeah, you're like a regular person you're a fixture
Yes.
historically.
I'm old. Yeah, well,
She said she's old like 3 times already. I think you're focused on your,
oldish.
Well, it's funny. I know. Age is a thing for her. I can tell because I was just reading an interview with her on the way here from NPR, and the first thing she says is Franny Kelly says, "Oh, you were at Def Jam," and you're like, "Yeah, I was at Def Jam '87," and she's like, "That's amazing," and she goes, "I know," which is weird because I'm still so young.
It's a woman thing. What can I say?
I know you guys are all weird about it.
I know. I'm embracing it.
Embracing what? You're not old.
49.
That's
Still not old.
As old as in the mind.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I did think you were younger physically. So now you've kind of ruined it because I'm like, you know what, she's kind of old.
She got on some skinny jeans. She's popping, yo. She's in the mix.
Well, first of all, because once we get started, we're never going to care about what's happening now. What are you doing right now?
I am in music publishing. So I do creative A&R for music publisher called Reservoir.
Got it. So you're like, what does that mean?
Oh, we just went through all this.
Yeah.
Really? But they didn't hear it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. I'm sorry. It's not hard to explain.
We're a music publisher. We're a boutique independent music publisher. We do publishing for artists, writers, and we buy catalogs.
And what's your role?
I do all of that.
You just help in all of it.
I source the talent. Bring in. Like I just signed Joey Badass to a publishing deal.
Joey Badass just got a publishing deal?
Yeah, with me.
Congratulations. Why did it take so long?
Thank you.
I feel like you should have done that. Like,
He wasn't ready.
he just wasn't ready to sign.
I met with him a couple years ago when he was, 18? And then he decided that he was ready, and he called me up and he said, I'm ready.
But you still get publishing even if you don't have a publishing deal, right? You have to fight to get it, though. You have to figure out how to get it.
You get your performance money. You always get your performance money from ASCAP and BMI.
Right.
And he had his lawyer doing his licensing for him.
Right. But your lawyer is not
No, they're not going to promote it in the same way.
You're pushing for him to
Exactly.
get some other stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Who's got Kirk Knights Publishing? You need to go for that.
Nobody yet.
Go for that one.
Yeah, or Nick Caution.
Or Nick Caution.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kirk, to me, I have a hunch that Kirk has he might have the knack of the chorus down, which is really, that's where you're going to get those.
He's a great producer, too.
I know. That's why there's a lot of publishing.
Publishing counts, too.
That's why you need to get your dirty, white, greedy hands all over his publishing.
Right.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh, your Jew filth hands all over.
Russian Jew, right?
Jewess. Russian Jew, yeah.
Yeah, right. Even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst kind.
Like the
Ukraine.
Jews, but
Wait,
they're
not
great.
even Russia, Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. You're a Ukrainian Jew?
Yeah.
Is there a war going on inside of you at all times? Because the Ukrainians, I always tell my wife, they love killing the Jews. They volunteered. They're like, hey, wait, you guys are killing Jews? Can we get involved? Like, no, you don't need to be involved in this. Come on, we want to kill Jews.
Yep. Well, that's why my grandparents got out of there. So,
yeah, I always
the Cossacks and whatnot.
So there was a lot going on. I always laugh at thinking about my grandparents knowing that I married a Ukrainian woman.
Is she a Shiksa or is she a Jewess?
She's full blown Shiksa.
Yeah.
Half
Blonde.
Ukrainian. Oh yeah, super.
Yeah. Blue eyes.
Grayish.
Blue eyes.
Yeah.
Fat ass. She is.
Really?
I wish she had a
You
fat
let him? Yeah,
No, he was lying. Great tits though.
I saw that. I have
sneaky
to
big
say,
tits.
Sneaky big.
I have to say, I looked her up. When I was reading about you. Yeah.
You stalked me. She's nice.
Nice rack.
Thank you very much.
His wife is the inception of the term sneaky big tits.
Which is a big part of our show now. People love talking about sneaky big tits.
What does that mean?
Like you don't know at all times that a woman has big tits, and then you're like, whoa, sneaky big.
Yeah.
Somebody, a fan of ours, or not a fan, some kind of douchebag, was looking at your. No, it was on a website.
It was on Barstool.
So she's into sports, and there was a website where they're like, Peter Rosenberg's wife is now.
No, it was more like this.
Here's
this chick, Alexa Dat. She does this, that, and the next. Blah 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 blah. She's got sneaky big tits.
They looked at her Facebook, and like if you look at all her. Sorry to talk about your wife's tits like this.
Yeah.
If you look at all her clothes
No disrespect.
pics,
Yeah, no disrespect taken.
they don't look huge when she's wearing regular clothes. But then there's one bikini shot.
And you're like,
I saw a bikini shot.
How'd you see that?
Because it's online. It's like the first thing that comes up with Google Images.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's because of Barstool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so repug.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you looking up his wife?
Because
What, is he doing
research on him?
it's on his wiki page.
Did you do research on me too?
Yeah.
What'd you find out? Anything good?
Yours was pretty straightforward.
You guys didn't know each other already?
Not really. No. Isn't that
Have
weird?
you seen each other? You met before?
I don't think so.
No.
Are you out
Do you
in the
even
scene?
work in hip hop?
Yeah. What do you actually do?
What the fuck do you do?
You don't know me?
Yeah.
So okay, well I guess it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Philadelphia.
Repug. I'm going there on Thursday.
Why?
Mitchell and Ness 10-year anniversary party.
Ooh.
You DJing?
Nice.
No, I'm hosting.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to the party. Never look forward to that trip down to. Even though I like Philadelphia, I think Philadelphia is one of the 4 authentic cities we have in North America.
Yeah, define authentic in that sense.
Like a real city. Like it has a big machine city feel.
Yeah.
And it has like multiple neighborhoods and you can like get around by public transportation.
Yeah.
And it's got like real grit.
Yeah.
like-
it has multiple bad neighborhoods.
Oh, it's repug. But it's also got some nice cool neighborhoods tucked in there too.
Oh, it does, sure.
So
It was good for me growing
Philly's,
up there.
I don't want to get into this. Maybe this is a whole nother episode, but Philly's cursed.
And
Philly
what's
is cursed.
in rap?
you talking
in
about
general.
Cool C or
I mean, by the
Stuff
way,
like that,
though,
yeah.
I'm not. That's actually a decent point.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever made it from Philly had to leave, which I'm using
To
even
make it.
you as an example. You have to leave and stay out. Stay out
yeah.
and
Stay out. Wow. you're
stay
right.
out is the
true.
trick. Because
Fresh
look
Prince too. Stay out.
we stayed out. Meek is having drama right now. Look at all the Rockefeller guys.
He's not
Right,
wrong.
where's Freeway?
Roscoe P. Chain.
Where's Beanie
I mean,
Siegel?
you still can do
Yeah.
stuff, but it's not where you should have been. And then ultimately, my point has been ultimately proven by the one and only Dr. William Cosby.
Whoa.
Philly.
The Philly curse.
Did he stay?
What about
He stayed.
Dr. J?
I don't know.
Dr. J. Different.
But he's
He's been okay,
Is he from
Yeah,
Philly?
but he's
been
not from
okay.
Philly.
That's true.
I don't think.
No.
He's from New York.
Did he get some Philly juice? Anyway, we'll talk about this later.
That was
It's a theory I have.
That was an interesting aside, though. People are going to be talking about just that.
I have a
Philly
theory.
curse.
So you were into Philly,
Yes.
and were you into rap as a kid?
13. First heard it.
Hold on, you said you're 49.
Yeah.
Woo! So we're talking about late 70s.
Late
We're
70s.
talking about
too.
79. 79.
Rappers Delight.
Rapper's Delight. Roller skating.
You heard
Really?
Rappers Like Rose, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I literally know I stopped in my tracks, and I remember exactly what the lighting looked like, and it was crazy.
Why? What was different? Like, you've heard Good Times before.
It was
You heard the
rhyming.
bass line.
It was the rhyming. It was
And it made you
crazy.
stop.
Made me stop.
Other people
Stop.
just kept going.
Roller skating. Stop.
And, it was
And
like,
I almost felt like there was a spotlight. I know that's not true, but that's kind of how
In
I
your
see it in my mind. There was
yeah.
a spotlight on me, stopped on the rink. Yeah.
And did you ask the DJ what it was, or you just?
No, I don't think.
This sounds like a bootleg, fake version of this on here, doesn't it?
That is not real.
Should I get up and do my tricky?
Did you bring roller skates?
Yeah, I got them in my bag.
And you were like, this guy, you knew right from the beginning.
I knew.
Publishing, you were thinking, this guy, Big Bad Hank, he didn't write this.
He didn't write this.
There's someone else who wrote this.
Where's
who's never,
Grandmaster Kaz?
There's someone else who didn't get the credit for this. So this instantly drew you in.
Like crazy. Like,
And then
I became a fanatic.
And did you get into the whole early 80s deal? Like,
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite songs still to this day is Monster Jam. Spoonie G.
Spoonie G.
Monster Jam.
Sequence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Monster
There's like
Jam.
an 8-minute version. Dope.
Well, guess
You
what?
got that one in there?
According to Spotify, it says go F yourself. Let's see if there's any Spoonie G in here.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I don't know Spoonie G at all.
Really?
No.
Well, you're young-ish.
I mean...
Younger.
Oh, no, there it is.
Yes.
By the way, I didn't realize that's what this was. These are all the same song, by the way. And if you want to hear them all in one song, just listen to the Adventures of Grandmaster Flash and the
That's
Wheels of
right.
Steel.
He makes it easy for you.
By the way, that's how I know that. That's the only way I only know that from Adventures of Grandmaster Flash. Fat Five Freddy, mate. Anyways.
How could you not be in love with that when you heard it? I mean...
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But, we talk about this a lot, for a lot of late 80s, early 90s hip-hop babies.
Mm-hmm.
The early 80s is a gap. Like, I have a gap there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a totally different aesthetic.
Completely. Where were you hearing it?
I had a friend who lived in Jersey. So this was like 14, 15. And he would get cassette tapes from his friend in New York. And that's how I got it.
Just random
Cassettes.
Were you like a rebel kid?
I was an interesting kid.
Were you out there fucking around doing bad shit?
No, never. It was always like a quest for the music. So,
So you would risk your life.
I would risk my life
to go to places to get some music,
Exactly.
hear some music, or
exactly
pick up a cassette.
I would go when I was 12. I would, Market Street, which was a lot different then than it is now. And I would go take the train by myself to buy records at Funko-Mart. It's down at Market Street. Vinyl. By myself.
Funko-Mart?
Funko-Mart.
What was
Funko-Mart sounds mage. God, I wish I could go back there and be there.
Totally dope.
You had a turntable.
Oh, yeah, I had a turntable, yeah.
So you were into music.
I was into music.
never
I
wanted
started
to-
buying records when I was 6.
But Ciph, owning a turntable that time doesn't mean the same thing.
No, I know.
No.
Right, you just needed to play music.
had to.
What else?
Yeah.
You weren't like, I'm going to be risky and I'm going to be
No,
like.
I know, I get it. I'm just saying, like.
But still, you had her own.
I was wondering if
Yeah.
it was yours or your. if you
No,
had
it was
one of-
mine. I had like a
Parents.
close and play kind of
Oh,
deal.
like one of those deals.
Yeah.
And would you buy like little things on 7-inch and
Oh, yeah, a lot of 45s, yeah.
a lot of 45s for singles that would come out?
Yep.
But that was more like the pop and.
I never listened to pop
So
music.
it was R&B. You were buying
R&B.
R&B.
I was really into R&B. And the first record I bought was an Al Green record,
Which one?
Guilty.
Oh, very nice.
And I remember what the sleeve looked like. And
Which
everything.
one? Is it the high one?
High one. Mm-hmm.
The black label?
It had red and white on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, whatever.
So no,
I remember. It's
So you went
black
into
with the
the.
red and white.
Did you listen to the radio?
Yeah, I mean, the radio was always on. Like, my parents always listened to music. My dad had a reel-to-reel player, which was very high-tech
It really
for those
was.
days. And, they used to play Ray Charles and the Byrds and Janis Joplin and Creedence Clearwater Revival. And there was, so there was some, like, soul influence stuff. But once Soul Train started coming on,
Soul Train.
that changed everything for me.
Really? Mm-hmm. Now, what was it about the show that...
Oh my God. Beyond the music, which is just what I totally gravitated towards. It was the clothes and the afros and the dancing. And it was like this magical world for me.
Soul Train was on what? On the weekends?
Yeah,
Saturday morning or something?
Saturday morning. I made sure my mom woke me up so I could watch Soul Train.
Wow. That's so weird the way you had to get stuff back then.
And
I
you're-
know, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's
Could
why...
you DVR it for me, Mom?
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. It wouldn't even be that. It would just be like, well, I download it. I watch it online on,
Right, exactly.
on Vimeo on Monday. or whatever
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
how did your Russian Jewish parents feel, or Ukrainian Jewish parents feel about your obsession with black culture?
Yeah, say this in a nice way. They weren't really paying attention.
They didn't care that much.
No, I had kind of had a hands-off childhood.
Were your parents fobs?
What?
Fresh off the boat?
No, not at all. They were
American.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Pops.
because my mom's parents wouldn't have an idea either, but they were like too foreign to really know what she was.
I mean,
getting into.
my grandparents, yes, very, very
fobbish.
Yeah.
So you get obsessed with it. Do you think at any point, like, this is something I'm going to go do? Like, this is going to be my life?
I think that I realized that when I was 14, that
Somehow music.
I will do this with my life.
But did you want to make music?
No, never.
Never wanted to make it?
Businesswoman.
Really?
Wanted to be a businesswoman. Mm-hmm.
And you knew
so
that right away.
Crazy. I've never heard anyone say that they wanted to start off like that.
Yeah.
People always try to rap and they go, I'm not that good at it.
All right, I did have a
I'll
rap
be a manager.
group.
You did?
Yeah.
See? What was it called? What was your rap name?
Oh my God.
Come on.
Ugh.
Was it called, if it's from Philly, was it called Park on the Street in Any Direction You Want?
Park on the Street.
You know that in Philly?
Yeah, it's any
You can
direction.
just park.
Yeah, it looks insane.
The schooly diets, that's what we were called.
No, you weren't.
No.
We believed you. I was worried.
No.
What was it?
It was, I was already in New York, so this is 86.
Okay.
And there were 4 of us. And Calvin coolers used to come in 4-packs, remember?
No. I don't even know what Calvin
You're young.
coolers are.
There was a wine cooler.
Okay.
And so we were called 4-pack.
Wait, why were you in New York?
I moved to New York to go to college, to NYU.
So your crew came in college. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your specific name?
So from 14 to 18, you just didn't know how you were going to be in the business, but you wanted to be.
I knew, well, I interned for a concert promoter when I was 16.
Oh, okay.
And so
that's a good
that
one.
was my first kind of entree into the business, so I thought I'll be a concert promoter.
Right.
Like, this is interesting.
What kind of
I'll do
concerts were they
this.
promoting?
I got to see, is Electric Factory concerts.
Oh, I was just there recently.
So they're big, yeah. I got to see Marvin Gaye on his last tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty amazing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one to have.
Yeah. So I already had brushed up against it.
Right.
And I had this kind of, I would say, this hyperinflated sense of myself that was like, my parents would say, you have to have a fallback plan. You have to do this. You have to do that. I was like, no, I don't. Because other people are doing it, so why shouldn't I?
Right.
Yeah,
fallback plan for the business side. I think you can push through that one.
Right, because the business side is a reasonable plan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's more, I mean, listen, it still sounds far-fetched.
Not as risky as being an artist, being a rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of options within business to pursue.
Right, but in their minds, it was like all they could see was from the outside. It was a bunch of, crazy people, as they said.
Right. That means black, Ciph, trust me. Now,
I've
heard it 1,000 times.
I mean, if they only knew. Sometimes I think about it. I mean, I only went to black nightclubs. Then I had fake ID, so when I was 16, 17. And I would come home 9 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't doing anything.
You really weren't getting into trouble?
I was going out to dance. I drank, but not a lot. I wasn't having sex yet.
Wow.
I didn't do drugs. I just needed to be where the music
But why
was.
9 a.m.?
Went to the diner after.
Yeah, it was lit, Ciph.
The after hours club and then the diner.
Oh.
After hours club and the diner. Oof.
And anyway, I would come home and my dad would be leaving for work. Like,
Right.
morning.
Wow.
So, not
How
even.
many, did you have other brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother, younger sister.
Middle child. No one
Middle
give a
child.
fuck about you.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
nobody gives.
Yeah, they don't pay attention. No one pays attention.
No.
So what? You never got? You're not escaping this. What was your individual rap name?
Oh my God.
We do this to everybody. Everybody.
All right. MC Fortune.
Honestly, that's among the better ones we've heard.
Really?
Yes.
4-pack is not even bad.
All of that's not that
4-pack's
bad.
really not that bad.
No, you had good sensibility.
Yeah.
You should get into the rap business.
Yeah.
You MC Fortune is
MC
actually.
Fortune.
I would have lost the MC.
Yeah,
went to
just poor Fortune.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Was anyone else in the
I had the
group?
big gold $sign earrings from,
Perfect.
from Fulton Street, and
Oh,
yeah.
so you were ready.
Oh, I was, yeah.
Was anyone else cool at NYU at the time?
No, not to me.
No one that you met. You didn't meet any other future hip hop people?
I didn't really, no, nobody. I mean, I was in the business school, which was weird.
Right.
I had started off wanting to be in the music business program there. But at the time, it was more theory. And I didn't play instruments. I was,
Makes sense.
So I said, I'll just go to the business school, which turned out to be crazy because it was really hard.
Well, but then was it because of NYU that you then got to intern at Def Jam?
I didn't intern at Def Jam.
You just worked there.
Yeah, I was
skipping ahead, yo.
I was a senior in college when I got the job at Def Jam.
Okay.
I hadn't even graduated yet.
So what did you move to NY? Did you go to college in New York because you wanted to be around more hip hop stuff?
Oh, I started sneaking away to go to New York when I was 16.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you knew you were
Greyhound.
So NYU is
you fall in love with New York. I mean, I did. I thought Philly was a big city and a lot going on, and then I came to New York, and it was a wrap.
Yeah,
that was it.
As people in Philly say, you went up the city.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I'm about to go up the city.
That means what? Go to New York?
The Philly accent may be the worst one out there too.
I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot that's repugnant about that. Let's say what it is.
Oh man.
Which one of these is mine? Can I have this one?
Yeah.
All right. So how do you get the job? Let's get into this.
Who'd you interview with?
For Def Jam?
Yeah.
Rick
Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
My now, oddly, as I get to this age in life, becoming a pretty good friend, Rick Rubin.
That's crazy.
Really?
It's really weird. All because of
He's
wrestling.
an interesting guy.
Really?
Oh my God, yes.
What, like talking frequently?
He hits me all the time.
Really?
Like I would say, and I'm blatantly name dropping because he's one of the coolest people to know ever.
Yeah.
Like exactly, maybe multiple times a week.
Wow.
Like, yo, I missed my wrestling podcast. He emails me. He's like, never miss your podcast again.
Wow.
He's the best. He's such a wrestling nerd.
He's a super fan.
Yeah, he's a super big wrestling fan, and he had never heard a podcast really before. Like, and I explained to him like what we do, and then he started listening, and then he was into it. But he's a huge wrestling fan. And my favorite thing about Rick Rubin is that I noticed two things, and I wonder where he was back then, which we'll get to. Mm-hmm. His like whole character that we know of him being like he is very much he is very peaceful. His presence is very calm.
He was always very chill.
He was always chill.
Always. You know.
He also at this point looks very young in the face. Mm-hmm. Like he's like big and has big crazy hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the way he eats and just like takes care of himself, but his face looks young.
7-8 years older than me. So.
And his face looks young. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Great skin. Fantastic skin.
Did you touch it?
I want to. I've never asked. It'd be weird. I want to get.
I wonder how my skin will look when I'm that age of all these burgers and fries.
Can I make a prediction?
Wings.
Can I make a prediction? Repug. That's what I guess.
Just drink a lot of water.
So, what's an interview like with Rick Rubin at that time, 1987? And was he the man yet, or were you like, how much do you know who he was, or was it just kind
of? Oh my
like...
God! Of course, I knew who he was. I mean, how I got to that point is there's a longer story behind it because this was just. It's weird when I think about that. It was only like 4 years out of high school. When I think about it like that, that's crazy.
No, you were a child.
You were like the Nas of the A&R world, son. He was like a young phenom, you know what I mean?
Yo, son. My interview with Rick went like this. First, I was at class. I came home. There's a note on the refrigerator from my roommate. It said, Rick Rubin called. Crazy. So I call him. You know, my hand shaking, the whole thing. And I'm like, and he's, hello? You know how he has that way of talking. And he said, yeah. I had been interning at Columbia Records, which distributed Def Jam. And he said, you know, Russell really likes you. Everybody thinks you're real smart. You know, we're trying to do new things at Def Jam. Do you want to come work here? I'm like, okay.
Wow.
What the fuck?
But you're interning at Columbia doing what? Mailroom?
Basically
coffee,
sitting in the corner, you know, stuffing envelopes and being hit on by 50-year-old label executives.
Oh, welcome to the game.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Scumbags.
That's incredible, though, because I mean, as a rap nerd, which you already are, you're like the earliest iteration. Let's be honest. I mean, really what you are, as I'm learning, is the earliest iteration of what I am.
Yes.
Like, were you from the burbs in Philly?
Till from 10 on, yeah, till 10 in the city.
So, but you were always fine, right? Like, well-to-do enough.
Yeah, my
Not
dad.
rich, but
he got better as time went on.
So you were like the first iteration of me, like a suburban white kid who fell in love, like obsessively in love.
Yes, like painfully.
Yeah, like
obsessively.
In a way that, that I can identify with you, but it would be hard for both of us in some ways to identify with new versions of us because it's just not as foreign anymore.
Right.
It's just not the same.
Right.
So you're so obsessed with it, and to get a call from the leading voice in what it is and saying, do you want to be a part of it? That's got to be fucking nuts.
It was like a dream. And he said, I was living on Sullivan Street right off of Bleecker. And this is when Def Jam was on Elizabeth Street.
Cellar.
And And he said, I said, well, when? He said, well, we need to sit down and talk about salary and all this. I'm like, okay. I mean, the whole thing was so surreal.
Salary? You don't even
salary.
know. And you would have done it for
I'm still getting $50 a week from my parents. Like, you know. So
they could have been like, yo, here's the salary. You're going to pay us $50 a week. And you'd be like, all right.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
So I go to meet him on Elizabeth Street, and I'm just, it's still in this kind of daze, and and I'm just like going, I'm this hip hop savant, so I'm going on and on about records and producers and artists. With him?
Okay, yeah.
And he stops me and he says, I'm not, I'm really kind of over the hip hop thing right now.
Like, he was already over it then?
Yes, he was such a genius.
He was over it in '87.
He was over it. He was
into
I can see
that though.
He was into.
Yeah, I guess you're right because it was like for him.
He started in '83, so
by '87 he started flirting with other stuff.
And he did. He had Slayer and Danzig and
all the stuff that came along.
All the death metal stuff that he was working with.
Okay, so but keep going. He's like, I'm already over it. And you're like, okay.
Okay, and he said, we'll start you at $18,000 a year.
Not bad.
Sold. Not bad for 1985, right?
I guess.
Not at all.
I'll take it now. I'll take
21 years old. What the fuck do I know?
And do you know what you're going to do at this point?
Well, he and Russell had this idea about setting up a publishing company. Interestingly.
Right.
And they said, we don't really know what it involves, so go talk to this person, that person, figure out what they do, and then do it for us.
Wow.
So I said, okay.
That's crazy.
But
you knew Russell already from interning at Columbia.
I knew Russell from interning at Columbia, and I also knew Russell because I was out at the clubs.
Right,
Like,
of course.
He wasn't. He was at the downtown spots like Save the Robots and stuff like that. But
so
I met Russell
20
in this,
years old.
Yeah.
And you probably never talked to him when he was
around New York
out
City.
of his mind on blow.
Yeah, Angel Dust.
Oh, Angel Dust. Sorry.
Russell.
Believe me, he's not.
Nah, he said it.
Oh, yeah, he said it. He says it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay. Good. Okay. So the meeting with Russell was by chance, like walking down the street with this guy. This is a long story.
Is it good?
Well, it's not sordid.
Go
It's
for
a
it.
good word, though.
Yeah, really
Sordid
good.
is a good word.
Kind of above my vocabulary. I forget.
Yeah.
I met with Russell, Rick Rubin. I think we move on.
Because there's so much to
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah, we gotta
That's the
get-
thing. We got this.
Okay. No, I understand.
Pause.
So
Okay.
anyway, I started Def Jam.
You set up Rapey Publishing. You set it up.
Yeah.
Rapey Publishing, you said?
That's what Russell wanted to call it. But I'm bummed.
So what are you doing? What are you?
After.
No,
I
then
start-
like
then-
what you
you
started.
set up
Yeah.
that publishing company?
So I helped them set up the publishing company. And then one day, there were only 5 of us who worked there.
Which it was you, Russell,
Rick, this guy, Lindsay Williams, Mr. Bill, Stephanie, and this guy, George, whose name I can't remember right.
Leor's not around
George
yet?
Solmers. Leor's at Rush. So Elizabeth Street, you had Rush on the first floor. And Def
Rush
Jam on the second
Management.
floor. Yeah.
Okay.
And our Def Jam office was about the size of this room.
Wow.
So this is
we
where the
shared desks
artists who
and
were
offices.
signed to Def Jam,
Would come.
which at the time is LL.
Slick Rick, Beastie Boys, Public
Okay.
Enemy,
And that's the label
Orange
side.
Juice Jones.
Orange Juice Jones.
But then there was a lot of other artists coming through downstairs who were on the Rush
Yeah, so you
Management
had
side.
EPMD and Eric B. and Rakim. I mean, it was, we took a chartered plane to BET, what was the conference?
Jack the
BRE,
Rapper?
whatever it was. BRE, Black Radio Exclusive. And we chartered a plane with Rush and Def Jam. So the entire universe of hip hop was on that
One
plane.
lane.
If that
all
plane,
the Rush artists,
all the Rush artists,
management,
and
then
all the Def
Def
Jam artists. LL was there. PE
Nice and
was there.
Smooth?
Nice and
Nice and Smooth?
Smooth were there.
All on a plane.
All on a plane.
Were any native tongues already there too?
No.
Pre, so this
and I don't even know. This was 89. 89.
Or 89?
89.
Still no daylight yet?
Or 88. 88, sorry.
Okay,
88.
so maybe right before daylight.
Right before that movement, yes.
Is there a picture of this plane ride?
I have some pictures of the plane ride. I have a picture. I do. I have a picture of LL, and I have a picture of Original Concept.
Oh, wow.
With Ed Lover putting a wig on Dre.
Why is Ed Lover there?
Why was Ed Lover there?
He was just a friend of the fam?
Yeah, he was just part of the whole...
Was MTV Raps on?
And when are we doing Ed Lover? We've been talking about that for a long time.
They had a group.
Oh.
They had a group.
With Dr. Dre?
Face. Yep.
Called what?
Ed Lover and this guy Mark Sex and this guy Shaw had a group called
Ed
No
Lover
Face.
Was in a rap group.
He was in a rap group.
Oh, wow.
He once rapped on a Tony Touch mixtape. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Wait.
I've heard Ed Lover rap.
And he's been okay before?
Good, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No Face.
Yeah.
I've never heard him freestyle and do well. Wow. Okay. So them original. Did Orange Juice Jones get to go on the trip?
I believe he was there too. I just know that it was. We joked that, Eric B. and Rakim, like if that plane had
gone down,
Eric B. and Rakim were there.
The hip hop would be a very different. Yeah.
Beastie Boys.
I don't think they were. Because there was a thing that went down with Russell and Rick, and I mean,
No, I didn't know about
in '88.
Time to set them straight.
Yeah.
Well, what's the thing?
Rick said he was leaving to go to Los Angeles for whatever, and he never came back. It was like one of those fathers who go to the corner store to get some milk, and then you never see him again.
Wait, was he on the plane?
No. He and Russell, there was a split.
Oh.
Between the two of them.
Between Rick and Russell?
Mm-hmm.
And
you think Leor's scooted Rick out? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, real quick. Where did the Beastie Boys end up in all of this?
There was some issues, the Beastie Boys, and in terms of, they ended up. Where did the Beastie Boys end up? On Capitol.
So so this was the end. This is because they're gone after that album, right?
Yeah.
Paul Boutique ends up on Capitol.
That's right.
So, but they ended up siding with Rick.
Yes.
And they weren't happy with Russell.
Right.
So Russell leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Leor goes with him?
No, Rick left.
Sorry. Rick went to LA and never came back.
Rick went to LA and never came back.
Russell stayed.
Got it. That makes more sense for the history of hip hop.
Yeah.
So Rick says, I'm going to go to LA, never comes back because he basically just finished dealing with.
He was done. And he had built this, he lived upstairs and he had like a tanning thing and a hot tub or something.
He was already getting into
And he had the porno star girlfriend and.
Which porno star?
Melissa Melendez.
Was she made?
Her name is burned in my head.
Apparently. What was she like?
She was interesting.
Was she hot?
Yeah, I suppose. She looked like, I don't know, look her up, see if you can find it.
Believe me, I am.
Are they treating you, are you liking your job at the time? Are you treated with respect or are you just like,
you're
not a glorified intern?
No, not at all.
Like
they made me a vice president in like 6 months. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Russell one day just said, okay, now you're a vice president of A&R.
I can see it. Yeah, if you're getting the work done.
Okay, I was getting the work done, I helped really build the structure.
Yeah.
Like there was no, it was
there was no rap industry back then. It was just
it was just this free kind of, no contracts,
and we
handshakes.
Look at Def Jam as like the moment where it changed. So
yeah,
you were part of that.
I think
I think I found her.
Yeah.
I don't have a good picture yet, but I know some of the movies she was in. The Pleasure Machine.
That sounds so 80s.
Tracy's Big Trick. Pretty Peaches 2. Yo, she was in Deep Throat 2. That's not nothing.
That's 2, yo.
Debbie Goes to College. You have 2 minutes. What's your next thing? What time's your next thing?
3 in Brooklyn.
Oh my God. That might take you 6 hours.
I know.
Sex Styles of the Rich and Famous. Okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted here, but there's no picture. Does your role change though now? Because Rick leaves and the group gets smaller at all? Or are you in the same position?
No, I mean...
You just said you became vice president.
I became a vice president of A&R.
So what does that mean, though, in terms of your day-to-day ops? 'Cause I'm guessing you were already doing beyond what your pay grade was from early.
Yeah, well, I got a raise, I actually got a raise after 3 months when I started and went all the way to $35K.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude.
That's not nothing in 1980 7,
Did you
8?
graduate?
No.
Did you graduate college?
And I graduated college.
Shit.
It was almost like
So
Rick wanted to make sure that I graduated from college.
So you graduated NYU and you're already like, you don't have to go look for a job. You're already working. Like.
You know, it was funny because I'd show up at, I went to the business school, so I'd show up with my Def Jam jacket, the original.
Yes.
With my big earrings and my high top spot belts. And and they'd be dressed in their 80s business gear with the women with the ties things. Yeah.
The original Def Jam jacket?
The original.
You still have it?
Yeah, of course.
That's
Where's all your shit?
Say your name on it?
It's in storage.
Say your name on it?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Faith.
Nice. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Can I be you?
So what's like one of the biggest projects you worked on, like when you became VP at A&R? Like what was happening?
We
What
were
is this,
doing the
89?
Mama Said Knock You Out album.
Okay. So you're dealing with Marley Marl's
Dealing with
Yes.
Marley, and really, convincing everybody that Marley should do the whole album. And I think, Todd wanted that too, but
Right.
I wanted to make sure everybody was on board.
Todd, are you referring to
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J?
Yeah.
James Todd.
Sorry.
I've heard some name drops in my day, but
That
No, I've heard that. I've heard Todd
you've
before.
heard people throw Todd?
Yes. Yeah, close people to L say Todd.
Thank you, Cipha.
Yes, I've heard it before.
yeah.
Why is he Todd though if he's James Todd?
He went by Todd Smith.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were why Marley? Why do you think that was going to make sense?
Because those remixes were so fucking hot, right? Jingling Baby?
He did Jingling Baby, but that's before Mama Said Knock You Out
that's the album
right?
before.
Yeah, that was
So
before
that was the
album.
introduction to LL and Marley,
And
working
Marley,
together.
they just had
Jingling Baby.
they had some magic together.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But I
We
feel
went
like
to Marley's house for a Juan Ep, and we saw like the reels,
Oh, yeah.
like LL
Oh, really?
reels and stuff. Yeah.
Was he wearing a bow tie?
Marley? No more.
I can't figure out that outfit he's wearing in Time is Illmatic.
Oh yeah. What
The
is
glasses? What's
what,
going on
what
there?
the fuck was he doing? I'm going to call him right now. Just like, hey, we were just talking. We were thinking, what the fuck were you wearing?
With the
Time is
like
Illmatic?
lensless glasses and the bow tie.
He's trying to keep up with the
Did you?
style.
I don't want to completely derail. Saif, can we
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
Can you settle in on the fact that you're just going to leave 15 minutes late?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Hurry
just
up.
own it. We'll go for another 14 minutes.
Okay.
So, in that movie, did people hit you up after Time is Illmatic who didn't realize how deep you were? Like, oh shit! Or did everyone already know?
I think
if they knew?
everybody already knew. You know what's weird about that footage? That footage is 10 years old. They shot that.
The interview footage?
Eric and 19 shot it when they were looking to do the 10th anniversary.
What?
And then they interviewed me again
Yeah.
for for Time is Illmatic.
Yeah.
And they used the old shit. It was weird seeing myself like
10 years.
10 years younger,
That's how long
Not
they've
the
been trying to
same.
work on that?
Yes.
Oh my God. Get your shit together, bro.
They
Seriously.
It's amazing.
They
but
needed to
10
get their money up. That was the problem. They needed
that's
to get
always
their
the problem,
money.
right?
Yeah,
So, was Mama Said Knock You Out a success?
very much.
Were
so.
they were happy with you?
Yes.
That song did quite well.
Yes,
In case you didn't know.
it did.
So
Still.
you pulled all that together.
Yep.
What else is
Get a
around?
Grammy? Mama Said Knock You Out get a Grammy?
No.
Nominated?
Wow.
I thought Mama Said Knock You Out the song was nominated, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you may be right.
What else is around there? Anything else? Well, what else were you working on?
Because Rick's album's done in 88.
Here's a funny one about Slick Rick. Russell put up $1 million bond to get him out of jail to make the
Immigration
second
thing,
album.
right?
Oh, the second album.
The second album.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to say my name is on that, but it's not really his fault.
There's good stuff on there, by the way.
Yeah. How do you make a record when you got armed guards on you? That was literally like we were in a hotel somewhere in New York. I found the studio, and the armed guard would sit outside his room.
What? Why? What armed guard?
They're protecting their $1 million bond.
So he came out just
Wait,
to
hold
do
on.
the album?
Came out just to do the album, and then he had to go back in.
The armed guard is Russell's hiring
Hired, yeah.
so that Slick Rick wouldn't flee?
Wouldn't flee.
What?
Yep.
No,
Oh my
no.
God.
How did you even deduce that? I wasn't even going there. My brain didn't even comprehend that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
I assumed
Because
like the
Russell
police, he was.
No, but whoever puts the money up, if Slick Rick would have fled,
He lose $1
Russell
million.
would lose the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I mean, rifles, not like
They were.
gun on the hip.
And were you in there?
I was in the adjoining room. How about that?
And who was producing on that record?
Just him and Vance Wright.
Jeez.
Wait, who did like Behind Bars? Did Vance Wright do Behind Bars?
Vance Wright did Behind Bars.
And what about Sitting in My Car?
You're good.
Well, that's a good one. There's a remix because the remix was really good.
Wow,
On that album, all the remixes were the ones that we love.
Sitting in My Car is the one that that became a thing. Like that's
I'm just, you remember more about that album than I do.
well.
Now there's another song on there that I fucking love, an up-tempo record.
Yeah, he had a few joints.
What's that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm amazed that he was able to do what he did.
Considering,
and then okay, now you go back
how well
to
do you
jail
know?
now.
How well do you know Rick?
Pretty well.
You still know him?
I haven't talked to him in a while.
I've been communicating with his wife because I desperately want him for the podcast. Obviously, he doesn't really talk.
Really?
Not really. Like she said, she basically told me that if he just feels like doing something, he's going to come do this. But as far as we can tell, he doesn't really have an interest in talking. But his story needs to be told more fully. I mean,
absolutely.
His role is so important. Like he was such an important. Was he cool? What was Slick Rick like at that time? And it must be weird because he's half in jail and he's out and
like he's free, but he's
not
not
really.
Free.
Yeah,
exactly.
And how long did he get out for to do this?
We were out for 4 weeks.
And does he have a girl at the time or anything?
No.
So
I know another story about that. I won't share.
I'm sure, but I'm sure he's got to get time to get it in too.
He got it in.
He still got it in.
Yeah.
And he's got to be you getting food delivered. You want to eat, you got to do all the shit you want to do.
We were in a decent hotel, so
he was recording in the hotel?
No, we had a studio.
You would have to take an armed guard.
Rye. Yeah, the armed guards would come to the studio.
You in Rye?
Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know.
What was it, near jail?
I guess
Probably
it was near jail. But
just be out of the mix.
It was just to be out of the mixed studio that would be close to a hotel.
Well, Russell probably wouldn't be comfortable having him in the city.
Right, he'll get it.
Go to the Bronx. That's not gonna work.
No, bad idea. Yeah.
Wow. So you're in the room. You're in a hotel room in Rye for 4 weeks.
I switched off with some people. So I didn't stay the whole time.
But you'd have to go up there and hang out
Check
and
in.
then go to the studio.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we're jumping ahead right there a lot from 89 to this album's getting worked on 93, 94 or something.
Oh.
No, 90.
But it didn't come out until so much later.
91. It came out in 92, right?
No.
No?
Not the one with Behind Bars and...
You sure?
Yes.
Really?
I have the vinyl. I was already DJing. So 94, 95.
I don't know, because she had to have moved on to...
Yeah, I was
soon.
at Columbia in 91. I started at Columbia.
Your math might be off.
No, my math can't be that far off
Yeah.
unless it's not possible the album got delayed for a long, long time.
Anything's possible.
That's the
because
only
I had
second
already-
album, right?
Yeah.
There's only 2 albums on Def Jam. Is that
As
correct?
far as I know. Yeah.
Well, I'll figure this out.
Okay.
My friend Wikipedia will tell me, but I'm pretty confident that it must have gotten held up. But I thought I remembered that it got held up. Hey, Rick turned 50 this year, by the way.
Who?
Rick.
Ricky. I know.
Ricky D, and he's having
I'm about to join the club.
He's having his yearly concert at Brooklyn Bowl January 15th, which you've never done. Oh, I know why we're fucking up.
Why?
Because I skipped over an album. You're talking about The Ruler's Back.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Behind Bars.
Yeah,
The Ruler's Back is The Ruler's Back. It's a boy. Yep. Okay, so The Ruler's Back is I Shouldn't Have Done It.
That's my song.
Yes,
I should've
okay.
done it.
So here's how we fucked up.
Yeah.
Because Behind Bars and the other one is the next album,
Right.
94.
You jumped ahead.
In 91, I jumped ahead. I Shouldn't Have Done It. I'm
That's my
feeling
shit.
sad and blue.
Yeah.
And It's a Boy and all that. That shit's awesome.
feeling-
Okay,
yeah.
so that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Now the timeline makes more
Okay.
sense.
See.
So what about Nice and Smooth? Their records all said they were all Def Jam, right?
Well,
But they weren't.
Rush Associated Labels.
Rush Associated Labels.
So were you not involved?
I was already kind of had one foot out of the door. I
Now,
mean,
why is that?
Well,
Oh, no, I didn't know it was a story.
Oh, obviously it's a story.
no.
She wouldn't have wanted to leave Def Jam.
I wanted to leave Def Jam because of the people who were coming in to run Def Jam that weren't the people that I had worked with prior.
Sounds like Cipha Sound's leaving Hot 97.
It does sound similar.
Yeah, I think at the time, what I was doing was I was kind of the liaison between Def Jam and Columbia.
Right.
So I would go to all the Columbia meetings and their A&R meetings.
Oh, and this point, it is Def Jam Columbia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
By the way, did you work on the Third Base album?
Yes.
Okay. About to
Did.
say.
Oh, she was texting with Dante Ross before you got here.
Of course.
Just
Of course.
randomly.
Oh, randomly.
Yeah.
But it still has to be that way on a Juan Epstein.
Has to.
Yeah.
So you were involved in that album
Yes.
too. That was very Def Jam Columbia days.
That was very Def Jam. Yeah. So and the people at Columbia would say, if you ever want to make a change, come work with us.
Your work ethic or your style or whatever it is, they saw that.
Yeah.
And they're like, why don't you come over here? Why don't you play with the big boys?
Exactly. And they're like, if you come over here, you can kind of set up your own little operation,
Wow.
because we don't, we have Rough House and we have Def Jam and we have, what else did they have? But, they wanted their own in-house thing.
Right.
Because they had all these labels
Outside
that they
boutique
distributed.
labels.
They want to make all the money.
Right.
Yeah. So, and,
So they're like,
Russell, so
when
Rick
you go
was
out there
gone.
for the meetings, they're hinting. Hey, listen.
They're hinting, yeah.
You like this off?
Which is weird because it's all related.
Yeah.
But Def Jam was its own thing.
Yeah, and they were in the CBS building, and it was like, and I could, for me, I was like, I would like to have this experience.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. I'm still like, 25. I'd like to try this.
Run a division.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, what about Public Enemy? Were you working with Public Enemy?
I mean,
at all?
only in this. I didn't work with them in a real A&R capacity, but
They were around.
yeah, but they're around, and me and Chuck are still really cool and love those guys.
So
Even Griff. Well,
at the time,
at
the
the
Jew
time.
hater of the Cinch at the time.
Jew hater of the Cinch, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a grand scale thing. I'm sure he's
Individually
like Jewish people.
I mean, by the way,
You're a cool Jew.
By the way, how often is it that you can mention Professor Griff, and I can tell you that earlier today I was with Sister Soldier? How often does that happen?
Really? I'm supposed to go to her
Book thing? Yeah, she came by the station today. She was
Oh, really?
great.
Oh,
she
cool.
was really good.
Cool.
So you eventually decide, based on the new people that are coming in.
Yeah, new person coming in.
Who's this person that sent you over the top? Ciph, can you figure it out so you don't have to say it?
What?
Who's the new person who came into Def Jam that pushed her over the top so she was like, I gotta go?
Leor.
Bing, 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 bing.
By the way, just real quick aside, because it's Juan Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go online as soon as you get a chance.
Okay.
If someone else was driving, or no, you taking the train,
No, someone's driving.
I need you to get on your phone in the car and look up Tim Westwood Young Thug interview.
Okay.
Okay? I need you to watch it because it's Westwood at his bionic, awkward, strongest.
Yeah.
Saying things that, like, you've probably heard this before, but I never heard this before. Where he's literally being, like, bigging up the Bloods to Young Thug.
Yeah.
Like, red's the color.
Yeah.
Red is the color, my man. And I'm like, bro, what are you saying? And then he's like, yo, pass the spliff. Pass the spliff.
Oh my
and he's like,
God.
if that guy doesn't pass the spliff, he should be fired. The guy passed the spliff, and then Thug tries to hand it, and he's like, nah, man, it's all you. So, okay, that's number one. But then he starts, Westwood is like, yo, Leo, man, why'd it take so long to get things going with Young Thug? Ball was moving kind of slow. Now it's going, though. And Thug's like, yeah, you hear that, bitch? I was like, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's gotten, I'm not trying to be a fucking gossip spreader, but it's on the fucking internet. And me and Ebro sat there and were like, this is interesting. First of all, Westwood just bucking off shots at Leor, and then Thug jumping in. It's psychotic.
I'm going to check that out.
Watch the whole thing. It's 8 minutes of glorious
Pure
awkwardness.
gloriousness.
Was Westwood always bizarre? Did you deal with Westwood in your...
I mean, not, just kind of peripherally, not. That's
Did
a
you
good
make
word, too.
Did you make regular trips like that? Like if the crew would all go to England for shows?
I
would
went,
you go?
yeah. Well, I went with Third Base to a very infamous London dates.
What was so
very
infamous?
Interesting. Oh, we almost got robbed.
This is crazy. These are amazing stories. Nas is not even born yet, yo. This is crazy. We brought you here to talk about Nas Illmatic.
No, the thing is, I don't. But I think it's almost. Isn't that almost a waste of time? Because
I guess, as we
I
already
talked
know.
about it a lot.
yeah, and like it's.
You're right.
Oh, such a
Touche.
strong portions in the movie.
Yeah.
Like we need to be like, tell us about Nas. That can be like, go
You're
watch
right.
Life is Omatic and see Faith Newman talk about Nas. Here we got the Slick Rick. So the Third Base. I mean, I'll be honest though, it's not enough.
Wait, what do you mean?
We're not gonna. We don't have long
You should
enough.
continue on.
You mean
You gotta do your other one.
No, right now? Don't you have to leave?
Yeah, but you could do it without me.
I know, but it's not the
It's
same.
just not the same.
Like I want more, but I mean, they're here. My other podcast nerds are here too, but I keep those doofuses waiting to hear these stories. I just feel like, let's say this. I mean, I feel like you're very cool and responsible, so like it'd be easy to get a hold of you again, and we could do more.
Sure.
But what's something else? Like, I don't know. Well, is there a story that you really feel like we would just love to hear?
Oh my.
I mean, it could be Nas related. It could be Mobb Deep related.
Well, you had something to do with
Yeah, what was your why
Nothing. Just the whole Queensbridge thing.
you were just involved in general?
I was involved. Yeah. It was,
Did you ever say to Nas, who's these little niggas running around? Oh, that's Prodigy and Havoc.
I got tired of running from bullets. It was,
It was really that crazy?
it was that crazy. Twice that, the little things got shot up.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And then also, I mean, there's got to be Fuji stories.
Yeah. There's Big L stories.
Let's get a Big L story. Let's get a Big L. Sorry. We'll save Fuji's, Cypress Hill, Lauren.
How about the Devil's Son?
Yeah, just give us some quick Big L. How did the Big L come to be? It seemed random when he ended up on
Columbia.
at the time. Like it was like, oh, okay. All the other guys.
Now it's not random. A crazy hip hop nerd.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm curious to figure out because it like you have fucking Showbiz and AG on Payday, Diamond D's on Mercury,
Right.
Finesse is on what the fuck was it? Big
No, Finesse was on Wild Pitch at first.
Wild Pitch, but then the second album was on not
Penalty?
No.
Oh.
I can't fucking remember. But it's a A&M, something like that, some random shit.
Mercury?
No, Diamond was on Mercury.
Oh, Diamond was on Mercury.
And then, so how did you get Big L?
Well, it wasn't, the person who first walked him into the company was this guy, Kurt Woodley. And then Kurt left soon after. So because I was kind of doing this whole I had this campaign that I was doing called No Doubt. It's good, right?
Yeah, and pretty early for that.
Pretty early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is years before Das EFX had a song called No Diggity. The group
That's
No
right.
Doubt is out.
Yeah.
You're early.
No doubt.
I was,
No doubt.
So we had Nas and the Fugees and Curious.
Cypress. Oh, Curious.
Big Curious. I'm a big Curious guy.
Thank
Are
you.
you?
I thought the Curious album was really
Curious
good.
was my intern at Def Jam.
Thanks
Really?
for helping
Yeah.
out Latinos.
That's very
welcome.
nice. You'll still catch Curious around. He still drops records randomly too.
He's still, really good guy.
Really good guy.
Yeah.
And Walk Like a Duck was fantastic.
Yeah.
And so was I'm Curious.
I love him Curious.
And so
How about
was-
Uptown Hit?
Oh, me and him talk about this. He doesn't you didn't remember it. He doesn't
No?
remember Uptown Hit.
I'm not a huge
Like
Curious
classic Beatnuts record though. Like
Yeah.
vintage Beatnuts.
Oh, man.
You
The
gotta have a
90s. Yeah.
So anyways, Big L, you're doing the No Doubt campaign.
And he's part of it, obviously. And I think with L, like I always said about him that if he had been born into a different place, he'd be like the nerdy, like white kid,
Right.
like suburban.
No, he would fit in now to these nerdy black hip hop fans, like these new hipstery.
If
Yeah.
he could fit in this era, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But he was born in
Born-
around the fucking
he was
street shit.
in some real, thuggish street shit,
Yeah.
which ultimately cost him his life for no good reason. But he was a really good guy
Yeah.
and really humble.
Who introduced you to him?
Kurt
Kurt.
Woodley.
The guy who brought him into the
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So I don't, I know that I don't know that he felt overshadowed by Nas because the whole building was going crazy
Right.
over Nas and, and Illmatic and
Oh, I mean, he was overshadowed by Nas. But he should have
Not
been.
think,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, love Big L. But at
Yeah.
the time, Big L was Big L, and he was in one place.
Yep.
And Nas was the most talked about rapper in the business.
Oh,
Like,
I
that's just
know.
what was happening.
yeah, you're right.
It did. The truth of the matter is, Big L's hype didn't come until much later.
That's true.
So people rewrite history a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, Big L." At the time, it was much more of a build, and
Yeah.
he was in, dude, fucking Devil's Son was underground as shit. That was a mixtape,
Super
fucking
underground.
mixtape record. There's not even a fucking clean on the vinyl. Like it's a dirty version only song, as far as I can remember. So that's not surprising. I kind of slept on the album when it came out.
Yeah.
It was single vinyl. I didn't want it. I think it was single vinyl. Maybe it wasn't. Or maybe the reissue is double vinyl. The original was single vinyl. Yeah. Illmatic, single vinyl, Repug.
Yeah.
Who can I yell at for that?
That wasn't a thing yet, double vinyl albums.
Right after, Nas came out in 94, April 94. Mobb Deep the next year, 95. It's all double vinyl.
Loud, though.
Loud got
boutique,
it.
though. She's working for a big company.
Yeah, I guess
They
they've
just like
never
press it out, put it out.
It's not like Billy Joel albums were ever fucking double vinyl, except for the greatest hits.
Boo's album double vinyl?
What?
Was Boo's album double
No,
vinyl?
single vinyl.
Yeah, I thought
Repug.
so.
But that album's very short.
Wait, which
by the
album?
way. Woo.
Oh, woo.
The funny thing is, Nas being
Illmatic
single
is-
vinyl shouldn't even be a big deal because it's so
Nine
short.
songs.
But at the same time, it wasn't. Well, it just
Yeah.
wasn't. It's still quiet.
You know the story of why there's only 9 songs.
No, I
I need to
would-
repeat
Come with
that
it.
story.
Come with it.
We originally planned on having at least 12, and it was bootlegged. I mean, not just bootleg. I mean, it was everywhere.
Really? The early.
Everywhere.
Wow.
And I still love you, DJ S&S, but he was one of the main perpetrators.
Really?
I don't believe it. A mixtape DJ bootlegging music.
Isn't that crazy?
Fuck.
Wait,
insane.
what do you mean perpetrator? Like he actually bootlegged it?
He bootlegged it.
Have you
No.
ever talked about this with him?
I didn't talk to him for a long time about it because I didn't want to talk to him.
Did he put it on his mixtapes or he went and physically made bootleg?
He
sold it to some.
physically, I mean, that was his mix. Like, he just physically distributed the album
Wow.
and
On cassette?
on cassette.
Jeez.
Like a dubbed cassette? Like a nasty dubbed
Exactly,
cassette?
exactly.
Bootleg artwork too?
I think so.
Oh, S. Come on now. I'm ashamed.
Was
it ever confirmed though? Like it was a conversation had?
I had a conversation, and I think, again, I'm trying to remember that far back, but I think he denied responsibility. So.
So it was.
So we had
what were the other
rush,
3 songs?
We had to
that we-
rush the album out.
Oh, so were the other songs done?
No. We were
'Cause,
just
you know-
going to do more recording. I mean, we didn't have a lot of songs.
Because later, like in the last several years, some of those bootleg songs have come out from way back then, like Understanding, and like there's other random songs that made it onto the Lost tapes. That I wondered where the original place was for any of those.
Yeah, I think that was kind of. I don't know. I know that there was stuff that didn't make the album, but because for whatever reason we didn't think it was of the level that it should be to be on Illmatic.
So it would have taken a little more time.
Yeah, it was going to take some more time, but then it was just like go.
Yeah.
Just go, get it out,
gotta
get
get
it
it
out,
out.
get it out. And I think that ultimately, the fact that we only sold, this 86,000 first week thing was for that, because of that.
Yeah.
86,000 first week.
Yep.
Because of the bootlegs were out so much.
For like the album that was supposed to be,
But it still ended up going platinum.
like 20 years later.
Well, how fast did it go gold? How about that?
It
No,
took-
yeah.
it-
I
to
remember
go
when it went
gold,
gold.
it didn't. Yeah, I remember.
It still
when
did in a
went
year.
gold.
No.
No.
Oh, it did.
Years later.
No, like
I
5
remember-
years or something.
Oh my gosh.
I was at Hot 97 when that album went
on
gold.
gold.
Yeah.
So it only did what, a couple 100,000 the first year?
Yeah, I think it was 95. I don't know if it was that.
Well,
Maybe 94.
I want you to know, Faith, I
Yes.
bought it first week. I contributed.
Me too.
Thank you.
And Shaheem the Rugged Child, guess what? Bought yours first week too. So
Look at you.
All right.
Look at
where's
you.
my credit
Same
for that?
release date?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Ooh, ouch.
For Shaheem? Well, based on those numbers you threw, I think they were probably closer than you would have liked.
Yeah.
Shaheem might have thrown out 15, 20,000.
And it was disappointing for everybody. And I think ultimately, it hurt him.
Nas?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Guess what? You know what? In 2015, guess what I'm not losing any sleep over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The success of Illmatic.
I know.
It's now been
They made a
re-released
movie.
40. Yeah, it's been re-released. By the way, I want to say this right now. And if Nas, I'm working on getting Nas too. If we ever get Nas, I'm going to tell him to his face. It's over.
What's over?
No more.
No more Illmatic.
he says
No more Illmatic celebration.
You know what's
Enough
funny?
is enough.
It was all of 2014. I've never done so
It's-
much press in my life. I
Right?
was like getting used to that shit.
Yeah.
Like
I'm popping out here.
people doing my makeup and shining. Like, I mean, it was.
It was insane.
It was insane.
Because it already happened in 2010. Then there was another thing. I mean, not 2010. The 10-year anniversary happened.
Yeah.
No, then when Stillmatic came out, there was a lot. They reissued.
They did the
Illmatic,
reissue.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's enough.
It's
right?
been so many
You know
fucking
what Gnug means?
No, Yiddish?
Yeah.
Well, no, what is it?
Gnug. Enough.
Enough. Okay, Gnug is mage. That's a
Yeah.
perfect word for it.
It's good, right?
Yeah, really
You could
good.
use that.
So I can just say it like this, like, oh, Gnug.
Yeah, Gnug already.
Gnug
Yeah.
already. All right, perfect. All right, Faith, sorry that I ran late,
That's okay.
and we'll have you again.
Okay.
We could be like friends moving forward.
I would like that.
Are you, last question,
Yeah.
are you like still deeply rooted in doing like hip hop things, or are you
She
sort
signed
of,
Joey Badass to a publishing deal.
that's work though. But I mean like at home, do you like hang out in
very-
a really like, I could see you now being absorbed into just like regular white Jewish New Yorker world, and like people know they're like, oh yeah, she likes the rap and stuff.
Right.
But like,
Yeah.
where are you in life? 'Cause I do both. I operate in both kind of.
I think they say that your musical imprint is formed when you're 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you were listening to then is the stuff that resonates with you, most
Forever,
deeply.
probably.
And that's a lot of the stuff I listen to.
Still.
Still,
So your friends are your
there
friends.
is new stuff that I like. Don't get me wrong.
But your
No,
friends, like you guys sit around and like get high and listen to rap still, or like go to a show together.
What's the last show you went to?
Disclosure.
Sellout, full sellout.
It was a business thing.
You weren't at Kendrick last week.
It was a business. No, I didn't see. And I love Kendrick. Gotta say.
Of course you do. Really? By the way, if you didn't love Kendrick, I would have been. It would have been the biggest shock of the entire interview.
Yeah.
I would have been blown away.
Blown away.
All right. So if people want to, do you want people to find you?
Yeah, they can check out our website. is really great.
What's that?
Reservoir-media.com.
And you're on Instagram,
I am Faith Newman 19.
and you post some random rap stuff.
I do.
I would
I'm
love.
still a hip hop chick.
I would love if to promote this podcast. Could you find that picture? It's in storage. You said
Which one?
the picture from the
The
airplane.
plane.
No, I think I have it.
You can find
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
man.
If we could post
Throw
that
that
for
up.
the podcast.
Oh, sure.
Throw that up.
All right, but honestly, this was amazing because you were fantastic. But we still need
Thank
to do
you.
another one.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Now I'm going to be late to my next thing.
All right.
Then I'm going to be late to picking up my daughter. When my daughter dies,
You
it's
will
your
spend
fault,
less
Rosenberg.
time with her at the end of her life in 90 years. And my
I'll take a
podcast
picture.
friends
No,
must
that
hate
she's
me.
going to die today because I'm not going to.
Ciph, you shouldn't even make that joke. Fortunately, you're inappropriate, so I don't worry about it. All right, guys, we'll catch you. We have a doozy that we're recording on Thursday, so there'll be another one up very soon. Good evening, good night, all that.